Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Ramla Abdi, a presenter at Iqra FM. Thank you so much for taking your time to be here today and gracing us actually with your presence. I know you're Dr. Ali Purmarjan. The name is a bit hard to pronounce, but I think I have tried.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. So Dr. Ali Purmarjan, who is the cultural counsel of the Iranian embassy. That's all we know about you at the moment. So for the sake of the people who are actually listening to us, or our listeners, okay, what more can you tell them about you and the post you actually hold in your embassy?
Assalamu alaikum to you, the Sister Ramla, and all of your listeners. And I congratulate you the Friday, and also fortunately we are in Shaban, so everybody is preparing himself or herself to enter the month of God and Ramadan. And I am so happy to be here on Friday, which after this we will participate in Friday prayer, inshallah. As you said, I am Ali Purmarjan, cultural counselor of the Embassy of Iran, who appointed for this position maybe 3 weeks ago. So this is my first visit, maybe outside my office, to be present in Iqra FM. As far as I like the media people, and I like to negotiate with them, to work with them. And the radios nowadays are very important. Actually, it is not my first mission in Kenya. I was here maybe 27 years ago.
27.
When I compared the presence of radio and media now, when I compare it with 25 or 27 years ago, I see too much progress and development is there. Different radio channels and different use of radios. I remember that time when I was here, the people, everybody who was going from their house to their job, they had one radio in their hand, just listening to the news or whatever it is. But the usage is a little bit different nowadays. And fortunately, the radio channel, they are entering into political, social and cultural matters of their society, and the radio channels are playing a very good impact on the life of their own people and their families. So anyhow, I'm here today to say hello to you and to your listeners, and I'm sure that in the future we will have good cooperation with you. And as I told to Brother Muhammad already, the radio channels in Iran also, they are very active and they are ready to cooperate with you, maybe in exchanging different programs. And maybe they will come here by your invitation, or you can go there by their invitation, and definitely these kind of exchanging programs will benefit both sides.
Totally, we'd love that, because being media personalities, and the fact that you're saying that you have seen so much progress in terms of how radio has actually grown. We just celebrated World Radio Day the other day. So in terms of progress, since you were here 27 years ago, and you are in the culture, you are actually the cultural counselor of the Iranian embassy, how much of culture, African-wise, do you think, like, in the radio in general, have we progressed? What have you actually noticed? Because you said the last time you were here was 27 years ago.
Yeah, 27 years ago I was here. You see, the main difference I saw is that the number of the radio channels, maybe that time was very few, especially in Islamic community in East Coast or Coast, and even Nairobi. Maybe it was 5 or 6 of the radio channels were there. But nowadays, I see the local and national radio channels are expanded throughout the country. This is actually one point. The second point is that the subjects that the radio channels are entering, they are very vast. Nowadays, when I hear from the channels, especially Iqra channels, also it is the Islamic channel, but I see that you are making very educative and educational programs about dialogue between Islam and Christianity, dialogue between Islamic scholars, Christian scholars. So you are trying to give too much information to your audience, and that is very important. And even educational programs I see, not only from your channel, even other channels also I see different programs about the art, about the culture, details of art, details of the culture, and even they are, or you are, comparing your culture with other countries' cultures. So I think that the channel, they want to make themselves from local into regional. From regional, they want to shift to maybe national and international. This is a difference that I saw this time.
Alhamdulillah, we're actually very glad that we are among the Islamic stations that have embraced different cultures and different programs. We are trying to put everything together so that we can try and accommodate as many cultures as we can. That's the reason why we have various programs, educational programs, as you said, because we have the ones that actually deal with women and mental health. We have business programs, something beyond the norm that people expect. Maybe an Islamic station should be only about Quran and Hadith and stories about the Prophet and all that. We try and diverse a bit so that we can at least fit in the 21st century. We are glad our CEO, Dr. Mohammed Bahaider, has been able to do that for us at the moment. So maybe my last question would be, what are you bringing in, since you have said you have been here for 3 weeks, right?
Yes, 3 weeks.
But in terms of your position, what are some of the benefits that maybe the Kenyan community should expect from you guys?
That's very good question, actually. The first step that I want to emphasize is that to bring the right information about Iranian community into Kenyan community. Although we are very good friends, two nations are very friends, and they were friends and they will be friends. Two governments, they were friends and they will stay as a friend in international matters. But I see sometimes a lack of information about Iranian culture here in Kenya. And also when I was in Iran, I saw that there is a lack of information about the culture of Kenyan people in Iran. So the last time when I was here for a few years, I wrote a book about the Kenyan culture, or the culture of Kenyan tribes, how it is or how it was. It was very good for the readers of my book. So it has been actually re-edited and reprinted for a few times in that region. So it shows that how the Iranian people like and love African people, and especially Kenyan people and their culture. This is one point. So the giving right information to the Kenyan people, it is my duty in cultural matters. The second point is that, as you said, we have entered into 21st century. So this century has special characteristics. It means that our youth should be exchanged. Cultural exchange, social exchange between the youth of two countries. So one of the ways of exchanging is that giving scholarship to Kenyan people or Kenyan youth to go to Iran to study in Iranian universities. You know that Iranian universities are very top and are very qualified internationally, especially in to be a physician, to be a philosopher in different subjects. So we are ready here in Nairobi in our cultural council to offer different scholarships to youth of Kenya. in different matters. I'm not telling that we are giving in religious scholarship in religious matters. No, in different matters, our universities are open to Kenyan friends, to Kenyan people, Kenyan youth, and inshallah, those youth who are listening to us, they can come to our cultural council, and they will tell us what subject or which subject they are interested in. And as far as they are respecting the rules or the criteria of the universities in Iran, and inshallah we will offer them scholarships. As you know that we have different kind of scholarships, A, B, and C. So there are some criteria for each kind of this scholarship. This is the second. The third one is that exchanging programs between different universities and NGOs between Iran and Kenya. There are too many NGOs working here in Kenya in social and cultural matters. And there are, fortunately, I saw this time different private universities have been opened in Kenya that already was not there. So why this exchange program should not be between these universities and our universities in Iran? So I am ready also. I am just working as the what do you call it, paving the way for the universities here in Kenya to go to Iran, to visit Iranian universities, to visit Iranian institutions, and I hope as soon as possible we will see also the result of these kind of exchanging programs.
Okay, and what language do you normally use in schools?
You see, our national language is Persian language, but there are some of the universities that they are teaching at English universities, like in Qom, in Shiraz, in Tehran also. But you should not be afraid of Persian language. Persian language is one of the greatest and one of the oldest languages as far as Persian civilization is one of the oldest civilizations. Fortunately, the Persian language is very familiar in East Africa.
Is it?
Yes, of course. If you remember that in East Africa you have Shirazi tribe, and also in that time, for the first time, I was coming back from Mombasa. So I saw I saw a board that has been written Shiraz village. So I went there, I researched too much. I came to this point that Shirazis, maybe 350 years ago, were the one who came from Shiraz with 7 boats. They settled down in Zanzibar, they settled down in Mombasa, and even Malindi. So after a while, they organized their own city-state in that region. So with intermarriages, with cooperating with the local people, for 200 years, they were ruling in that area. So because of these intermarriages, interchanging and having good life with the Kenyan and local people, they put too many Persian words into Kiswahili language. So there are too many words. I do not remember now to tell you which words, but there are too many words common between Kiswahili and Persian language. So when you are speaking in Kiswahili, I'm understanding, so I can choose some of the words.
Because when I was talking to my colleague, I saw you at some point trying to listen. So I was thinking, does he know what we are saying in our conversation? But I'm glad, because you told me off air that with the table you call it Miss.
Yes.
In Kiswahili it's meza.
That's right.
So I don't think it's something hard. But what I like about maybe the Persian culture, especially your decors. Your decors are amazing. In terms of carpets and all that.
Yes, of
people
course.
love them.
Yes. Actually, we have handicrafts, which carpet is one of the maybe the best Iranian handicrafts, which is very familiar internationally.
Yeah.
So I remember 25 years ago, our government also wanted to introduce Persian carpet into Kenyan society. And we invited one of the specialists. That time he came here, and he spent almost $150,000 that time, and we just educated some of the youth how to
To make
veil.
them?
Yes, how to make carpets or whatever. But unfortunately, I don't know why it didn't follow up. So, but as far as the handicrafts, I know that I love Kenyan handicrafts, but also in Iran, also we have different kinds of handicrafts, which carpet is one of them.
Yeah.
So we are ready here in Cultural Council also, those who are interested to know about how to weave Persian carpets, we
Yeah.
can send them to Iran, we can pave the way for them to go to Tehran, to go to Tabriz, Shiraz, Isfahan, Yazd, and maybe in 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, they can be our guests to learn this what do you call it, handicraft, and they can come back and maybe they can make themselves busy. That's one kind of making our youth to be busy in this job.
I think that would be very amazing because with the Kenyan education system at the moment, those who don't get to go to universities actually are introduced to TVET, something to do with them using their hands to create things and stuff like that, just technology and everything. So the fact that you actually said the similarity between the Kenyan culture and the Persian culture is that we are both handy. We like making beautiful things using our hands. So other than that, what other similarity do you think we have between us and you guys?
In Iran, making handicrafts are millions of dollars the people and the government are spending for the handicrafts. And nowadays, even at the universities, we have opened some of the courses how to make these handicrafts. And not only traditionally the people learn how to make these handicrafts, but also officially and educationally at the universities, the government teach the people. I can say that maybe more than 190 of the main handicrafts are made in Isfahan, Shiraz, and Tabriz. And also here, when you go to Masai market or whatever it is, too many of these items are very similar, but the way of making them are different. In Iran, maybe it's a little bit technology has been put into making these handicrafts, but in Kenya it is pure traditionally. So even I believe if we send some of these brothers and sisters from different communities in Kenya to go to Iran to get this technology of making the handicraft, and when they come back here in Kenya, definitely it would be very useful for them.
They'll teach many other people, definitely.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so apart from that, are there any other similarities between your culture and our culture as far as you're concerned?
As far as some portion of the Kenyan society is Muslims, and Iran also is one of the Muslim countries in the world, so this is the biggest maybe similarity is there. Multiculturalism, multi-religion, multilingualism is common things that you in Kenya and we in Iran we believe on that. So we different religions are living in Iran: Judaism, Christians, and Muslims. Here also different religions are living here, and the calm society and friendship between followers of different religions in Kenya and Iran is also the common thing between two countries. As far as I said, this religion, I should mention you that since 20 years back, we have started a dialogue between religions. And actually, before that, we had started dialogue between civilizations, which the Iranian president have proposed at the United Nations. And after that, dialogue between cultures and dialogue between religions have started. And we have organized more than 13 course of dialogue between Islam and Christianity with Vatican. And also we organize different dialogue courses with Russia, with Protestants and other religions. And inshallah in Kenya also I am preparing myself to visit some of these scholars at the university, or Islamic scholars, Christian scholars, maybe in the future, in the next year, we will organize these kind of dialogues. So definitely it would be useful for our people and Kenyan people, inshallah, in the future.
Definitely. I'd love to be part of the group that actually goes to your country when we're doing that exchange program, inshallah.
Inshallah,
Yes.
inshallah.
So the very last one now, mental health is actually the leading or the number one issue that the youth are currently facing all over the world. So how do you actually use culture to ensure that the youth is not actually affected by mental health related issues?
I believe the very basic and very important thing is that the youth should believe in themselves and should believe in their cultures. Unfortunately, we have entered the 21st century, which we face international cultural hegemony, and this cultural hegemony is attacking our traditions and our cultures. Our local culture in Iran or in Kenya, in other country, is our identity. If our youth just is separated from his or her identity, he or she will be dead.
Definitely.
So the first step and most important thing is just we have to nurture our youth to make themselves very affiliated to their own culture. It means that if you are from Kikuyu, you have to make respect to your own culture. If you are, I don't know, in Iran, different cultures and in different provinces, you have to respect your own culture.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, next week we will have a conference at the University of Kenyatta. You know that 21st of February is the International Day for multilingualism.
Okay.
So in that day also, professors or the lecturer will speak how to respect our own culture, not to be omitted or not to be deleted in international sphere. So as far as I want to answer to your questions, maybe the most important step is for our youth to respect their own culture, their own tradition, and then they will go to the national or they will go to international affairs.
Okay. So what you're saying is that we should first respect our culture, appreciate it, not be deviated or be consumed in the international culture.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
that gives us so much pressure. I think that's when it leads to you wanting to do so many different things, and that brings the whole issue of mental.
You see, when the Western part of the world,
Mm-hmm.
they issued or prescribed for the third world countries an idea of globalization. Globalization is a good idea,
Mm-hmm.
but if this globalization means that we are going to be separated from our identity,
Mm-hmm.
from our tradition, from our culture, that is the most dangerous things. So it means in order not to be deleted, in order not to be far away from our tradition, we have to respect our family. We have to respect our traditions in our society. If you are from Somali, you have to respect first to your own traditions, and then go to international values or whatever it is.
Of course.
And as far as the international values are accordance with our identity, with our tradition and culture, it would be
We're
quite
okay with
okay.
it. Yeah.
But if that international hegemony is destroying our culture and destroying our identity, I think we should get rid of it.
We keep off completely.
Thank you.
Yes. So you said you've been around for 3 weeks, and this is the very first time you're actually outside. And you actually chose to be with us on this faithful day of Jum'ah today here at Al Huda. So you coming in from the gate, how did you find the atmosphere? You visiting Iqra FM for the first time, which we are very grateful. How did you find the atmosphere? And probably 1 or 2 words of encouragement to our listener in terms of how the economy is at the moment. Any kind of encouragement, plus maybe wishing them a happy Ramadan?
Actually, I believe one of the privileges that Iqra FM has is that it has been located inside the mosque or inside the mosque compound. It means as far as the mosque is the house of God, yes, and that is full of calmness, that is full of energy, full of peace, and I hope your listeners also will get energy from your program. This is first. The second point is that if we want to be calm, if we want to be peaceful in our 21st century life, we should not go far away from the mosque. The mosque is the place that God Almighty gives us energy, gives us peace, gives us iman and faith. And if we make our iman and faith in strength in the mosque, so definitely we will not be defeated in our world. You know that nowadays economical problems are everywhere. In Iranian society, in Kenyan society, even in Europe and America also, they are facing the economic problems. So one of the ways is just to making our faith and our soul strong by coming to the mosque, and inshallah these kind of problems also will be solved in the future. And also my final point is just to congratulate all of your listeners about Sha'ban, which are preparing ourselves to enter Ramadan, and inshallah I am hoping all of you and your listeners will have good Ramadan, good ibadah and good faith, and you will pray for us and we will pray for all of you and your listeners.
Dr. Ali Pourmarjan, thank you so much for making time. Thank you so much for making time to actually visit us in our studios and gracing us with your presence. You're welcome again and again, anytime. You're welcome at our studios, Iqra FM. Yeah, hoping that this relationship will go beyond here, where we will interact with your culture, your passion culture, so that we can understand each other. With your radio stations and ours, as you said, exchanging programs and all that, we would really love to do that.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
God bless.
Yes, ma'assalam.